So tonight it is Balor, Cody, and Miz, and then Damian Priest, Rollins, and Nakamura. And they also revealed the SmackDown bracket. So in one match, you will get AJ Styles, Edge, and Rey Mysterio. And the other, Austin Theory, Sheamus, and Bobby Lashley, taking place in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Oh, Styles, Edge, and Rey sounds awesome.
Sounds like a very unique match that I don't know if you would have assumed like a match that could you have imagined like 7 years ago this match happening?
No.
You literally could not have.
Mm-mm.
Seth, Damian Priest, and Shinsuke Nakamura is our first triple threat match, and this was quite the night for Seth Rollins, having to work 2 matches. Nakamura hits a flying knee off the buckle to Priest, and then Priest catches a springboard by Rollins into an elevated flatliner. The 3 go down from strikes, and then Nakamura attacks Damian Priest's knee, bringing about the injury that he had on Saturday. And I like the fact that they tied in the injury from Backlash, and it's not just, okay, the event's over and poof, he's back to 100%. Rollins hits a discus lariat onto Nakamura, and then Priest knocks Rollins off balance on the top turnbuckle, but the knee gives out as he goes for the razor's edge, allowing Rollins to hit the stomp. Nakamura dives in for the save, and then Nakamura strikes Rollins in the back of the head. The Kinshasa gets stopped by Priest, who then tosses Rollins out, and he's limping on the bad knee. And Nakamura continues to kick at Priest's knee and rolls to a knee bar. But while he has the knee bar applied, Rollins comes off the top with a frog splash to Nakamura and hits him with the pedigree, pinning Nakamura in 13 minutes and 20 seconds. So Seth Rollins advances.
Really spectacular finish. I thought this was a really good triple threat match, and I think Damian Priest continues to be used really well, working off of these baby faces. Here tonight, I thought his ability to play sort of like your base as a monster while convincingly selling that leg, he continues to really impress me in how good he's become in this sort of like focused big role. So I thought they also did a really good job of making the Nakamura Rollins pairings feel special. This was, in a way, Nakamura's official reintroduction to WWE Raw. And even though he lost tonight, I thought there was a feeling of specialness to him that felt, very fresh that he didn't have on SmackDown in a long time. And I think him going 50-50 here with Rollins helped make him feel a bit hotter. But Rollins, as good as tonight as ever. It's impossible for him to not have a match of the night contender. And he really does bring out the best in everybody, including these two tonight.
Yeah, he wrestled for like 27 minutes on Monday night and more to come. The Miz, Finn Balor, and Cody Rhodes is our next triple threat match. Rhodes is selling his shoulder from the night prior or 2 nights prior and hits a suicide dive onto both men on opposite sides, then a double Cody cutter as he holds his shoulder. But the crossroads gets countered by Balor, and then Rhodes hits a disaster kick, and Miz hits the double DDT, and the crowd is chanting, "Tiny balls, tiny balls." And I just can't wait till could we just bring the Puerto Rican crowd to all these cities? Like, I could take this tiny balls chant if it was in Spanish. I think it'd just sound cooler.
Probably, yeah.
But back to our regular chants. There's a sling blade to Miz, and then Rhodes clotheslines Miz out, and the coup de grace misses. Miz then runs Balor into Rhodes on the apron and goes for the skull-crushing finale. Cody is in for the save, and he hits the crossroads to Balor. Miz then tosses Rhodes out, but he quickly returns, and Cody proceeds to hit 3 crossroads onto Miz. He's got the match won when Brock Lesnar yanks Cody out and hits him with an F5 on the floor and then onto the desk. And we see Brock well, first of all, Balor pins Miz with the coup de grace in 9:28. So Finn Balor will face Seth Rollins later. And so when Brock had this shirt, the first half of the word was covered on the second word. So I thought his shirt read country bumpkin. And then he revealed it, and it says country ass kicking. But the way it looked, I was like, this would be the greatest heel shirt for this guy. Country
bumpkin. Okay.
That was not.
It might be a bit better than country ass kicking, which
you wouldn't buy this.
I mean,
a black wrestling T-shirt with white font and an angry look on it.
Country bumpkin. Yeah.
So Brock gets on the mic, which I don't think was working at the beginning. So his audible was to just scream so loud that everyone would hear him. Look at this face. And this is a hideous looking face. He has got stitches. He's got a black eye. This is quite a haunting figure that he has on him. And he asks Cody what he wants to talk about. He wants to talk about himself and that Cody lucked into the victory, and he wants a fight at Night of Champions, and says, who is the coward now? And that's how he leaves him. And Lesnar looks at the title as he walks to the back, smiling as Cody stays motionless, selling this attack by Brock Lesnar as they are going to have a fight at Night of Champions.
Mm-hmm. I thought this was first of all, I thought it was a very effective match. It was another really good three-way here with good action, and I think good logical booking at the end of it. You know, they had Cody appear to be pretty dominant against the two heels in Balor and The Miz here, and obviously that's all to set up the Brock Lesnar, causing him a victory to reheat up that program. I thought the post-match angle had a lot of great intensity and some wonderful visuals here. You know, looking at this guy with these stitches and this black eye, he looks terrifying, a lot more terrifying than even usual. So, and we got to hear Brock speak a lot more and emote maybe a lot more than usual. You know, this is almost like a new style of Brock promo where
this was like growling with words mixed in.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen Boombox Brock now, I think, for a few years, fun-loving Brock, but now he's back to, you know, being a heel and talking for himself without Paul Heyman around now. He's pissed off. He's, you know, he needed to convey how pissed off he is at Cody for beating him at Backlash, and just delivered this, I think, big, brutal attack that completely reheated up the feud because he cost Cody his story, the thing that matters to Cody the most. So I'm still waiting for a reason, and I think Cody is still waiting for a reason why Brock initially attacked him. If we were going to get it, it would have been tonight. So I don't think we're ever going to get it. But
it's part of the story now that he doesn't have a reason for attacking Cody.
Yeah,
like that's the story now.
Yeah, they just clearly either didn't come up with it, or maybe it was supposed to be for the championship. Who knows?
Yeah, and I don't know if that cut is going to heal in 3 weeks' time. So it's a perfect target for blood in Saudi Arabia.
Wow. Yeah, sure. I mean, clearly they wanted it, and clearly you know what? Like,
I think we're going to get double blood at Saudi Arabia.
Thinking back a week ago when they had, you know, Brock bloodied, whether or not that was intentional, that I don't know. But you had Cody mention it in saying that, hey, I saw this guy bleed, and it clearly almost felt like it was foreshadowing the blood that we got in the match itself. So policy seems to have changed, and they are willing, at least, you know, when guys can be trusted to do some hardweight blood, to use blood in their shows.
Post Wrestling and Poison Rana, we are teaming up.
The Forbidden Pour, Post Wrestling and Poison Rana, the same day. If for anyone traveling in for Forbidden Door, we will be literally steps away from the Scotiabank Arena. It is right next door. It is attached to the arena. We're going to have a pre-party. John and Wei, you guys are going to do a podcast before the show, but it's afterwards that the after party is where things are really going to kick off, because we're going to do some wrestling karaoke.
And it's already been promised that a Mr. John Pollock is going to sing All In by Downstate.
Yeah, he agreed. It was in the contract. We've been throwing a few parties before, but nothing this big, nothing this huge. This is our double or nothing, really, and we're so excited. This is going to be a blast. If you're thinking about Forbidden Door weekend, now is your chance, because tickets are available now, aren't they, Way?
Yes, they are right now. postwrestling.com/live. I'm super excited.
And then Finn Balor and Seth Rollins, a great match, a rematch from SummerSlam 2016, where they did the powerbomb spot into the barricade, but this time it was Balor hitting the move to Rollins, and Rollins did a fantastic job of selling like paralysis for the rest of this match. He could not use his left arm, and it was just really, really well done selling by Seth, I thought, throughout the majority of this match. Balor goes to a Fujiwara armbar, attacking the arm, and then Rollins stops a shotgun dropkick, catching him with a super kick, lands some rolling elbows, and then they both go down after an enziguri and Pele, respectively. Double stomp is hit by Rollins, and then the coup de grace is thwarted as Rollins scales to the top, hits the superplex, but as he goes to the Falcon Arrow follow-up, it's countered with a reverse Bloody Sunday by Balor for the 2 count. He sends Rollins into the corner, misses with the coup de grace, and then Rollins can only hook one arm for the pedigree, hits it, and Balor kicks out. So Rollins then sets up for the stomp as the crowd sings, misses it, and after rolling out by a roll-up attempt from Balor, stomps Balor straight on the face and then hits the proper stomp and wins the match in 13 minutes and 31 seconds. Two really great matches from Seth Rollins tonight, but this to me was the match of the night. A really, really solid end to Raw.
Very, very good match. Did a great job of drawing upon their first encounter together that is still, pretty memorable to this day, but flipping it and setting up, I think, a great injury storyline for Seth Rollins. And the chemistry between these two is as perfect as ever. They're practically like mirror images in terms of style, and both of them are still currently on pretty hot runs as characters. Balor with the Judgment Day and Rollins just becoming a really hot babyface on Raw. So it made for an excellent TV main event here, and a really good in-ring edition of Raw because of this one night tournament.
Yeah, and when you look at it, like Drew's kind of status whenever he is back in the mix, even if you're just looking at this mix of Drew, Seth, Balor, and Cody, there is a lot of combos there that you can certainly deal with, and you can get away with a Cody Seth babyface program when it's time to do it. There's a lot of tools that
don't forget Rollins or Owens and Zayn.
And Owens and Zayn are in this whole mix as well. So the question is, after they recreated this spot from SummerSlam 2016, will Brock and Cody recreate a spot from that same show with Brock and Randy Orton's head?
I'm if they bled for that first match, I'm going to suggest that they'll probably bleed. They'll probably try to outdo themselves. So I don't know if Randy's going to be too happy.
I would hope that they learn from that SummerSlam spot and there will be no elbows to the head. But yeah, I thought, a pretty good episode of Raw that, had some very good wrestling on the show, but especially that main event that I enjoyed quite a bit.
I thought, the tournament gave the show, the whole 3 hours, a show long purpose. You had, 3 very good matches as a result. Fresh matches, I think, in the form of some of the new debuts. I thought every match had a bit of a purpose in at least telling you who you should be focusing on for the season going forward. And, it did feel fresher to me than usual, this edition of Raw.
How do you feel about this World Heavyweight Championship now that you've seen the brackets? That Way was, as optimistic as you could be that maybe it's going to be all Raw talent in this tournament. It is SmackDown talent. How do you feel about this concept now that they are full into it?
That part's fucking ridiculous. I mean, the whole thing is pretty ridiculous when you just think about that. On the one hand, I understand maybe not, wanting star power to be attached on both sides of the bracket here, but they need a better explanation for how you can go through the whole process of a draft and making these guys SmackDown exclusive only to put them up for a contention for a Raw championship. I mean,
and that really should have been explained tonight. That should have been, whether your line, whatever you have, the winner becomes Raw exclusive, something, because this is so illogical, especially this Friday. It will be glaringly illogical when you have Roman on this show and the SmackDown guys competing for your Raw title.
This whole aspect of the brand split, it really does suggest to me people who haven't necessarily thought things through, or maybe very quick brash decisions are being made. But hey, at least the matches will probably be good.